Back was developed by a playwright named Jane Miller, and it's about a young woman, late 20s, early 30s, who really doesn't know where her life's going. I think it's a position that a lot of us face, where we're reevaluating who we are and who we've become in our adult lives, and it's just a really wonderful piece. It's about two women who come together and who realize who they want to be moving forward in life, and they get through some tragedies and some bad circumstances and come out on the other side. So it's really inspirational.
It's very interesting to me in this era of you know, Facebook and all that jazz, being able to control how people perceive you, how people see you, how you feel about yourself, and then having some company come in like a consulting corporation, rather than, you know, consulting about a job or something like that, they're consulting you.
A lot of presentation goes into, you know, making yourself you online, and, you know, in job interviews, and everything is about how you're perceived in the world. And you're more visual than ever, you know, it's a lot of judgment going on.
Favorite moments of feedback are the video pods with Holly. And my other favorite moment is when Holly and Elizabeth are at the dog run. I'm not going to give any more away than that because you have to see the play.
Well, I don't want to give too much away, but you know, seeing some of the characters alone on stage. There's a scene where one of the characters is alone in her apartment, and I won't say exactly what happens, but basically the emotions get the best of her, and you see her completely change and break on stage, basically. So it always makes me, you know, get goosebumps.
There are two plays we know exist that we don't have by Shakespeare. Love's Labour's Won, a sequel to Love's Labour's Lost, and a play called Cardenio. I'd never seen the name before, I knew nothing about it, and Shakespeare being a favorite, I thought, why don't I look into this? The more I looked into that, and I read Don Quixote, because Cardenio is a character in Don Quixote, yeah. I've always loved the Don Quixote story. I fell in love with the idea of Cardenio being someone who was, for lack of a better modern term, completely screwed over by a very good friend. And that was a good starting point for Geoffrey, the main character, who finds Cardenio and decides he's going to put his own name on it, because fighters keepers, screw the rest of them, he's going to make a killing.
The Tragedy of Cardenio is it's a story with a classic tale. The truth shall set you free. Sydney especially, we are coaxed so much into telling lies. Little lies, white lies, big lies, lies to our significant others, lies to ourselves. And whatever art can gently coax you into believing that the truth really will set you free, and that it will help you have a much better perspective on life and the world around you.
In The Tragedy of Cardenio, my favorite is there's this monologue where the lead is telling the audience about this great classic literature that he's experiencing for the first time, and he's telling the stories of these incredible writers and playwrights have created, and you watch as he starts to identify himself in them and find the truth of that for himself. And I especially love it because while he is identifying with this great literature, I'm also identifying with this character in this great play. You're seeing something, you're seeing this story, a very interesting story about a person that I think we can all identify with through the lens of this academic information.
This is about a person who figures out what success actually is, and he has a chance in his life to turn his life around. He has some regrets, and he gets to actually make amends with those people in his life. So it's kind of an interesting story.
I think my favorite part about theater is exciting people about everyday things that they're already familiar with, but as is a theme in the play, rediscovering them again for the first time. It's very exciting, it's very loving, and just reawakening anyone's passion. I think I can, if I do that to one person each show, I'm happy.
I think there will be a lot of people who aren't necessarily readers, who haven't thought about some of these authors in a long time, who will go, I need to read that again, or for the first time, because it sounds really interesting. And I think that's what this play does for that. And
I think we all are worried sometimes about what people think of us, and I think both plays really deal with what's actually important in life and in what you present. And I just think it'll be really exciting to see what people think about the same idea being done in two completely different ways.
And what happens to your emotions when they're possibly going to be perceived negatively, and what you do with those emotions and how you're perceived in the world. And I think audiences will relate to that and relate to the questions it's asking.
Anything helps, and it's so easy to do, and it really, really helps us out, even from the smallest things to like rehearsal spaces, to printing copies of scripts, to mastering audio, anything like that. The smallest bit helps.
And everybody is in love with this play and is donating their time to put it up. And everything you give will help Squeaky Bike, which is a super helpful company and wonderful. And you know, it'll go right back into the show to helping us have our awesome sets and costumes, and you know.
Squeaky Bicycle Productions is really focused on putting great work out there. We want to do the best we can and give people something that's going to make them think, that's going to intrigue them, that's going to interest them.
And you'll see more of the same, which has been quality work with enthusiastic participants.
Whenever you find people like that and companies like that, and you have the money and the time to try to donate both those things, time and money, I think people should take advantage of it.
Any amount of assistance is so appreciated, and it's great because you absolutely see the result. You come to the show, you see an incredible show with incredible technical elements, with great artistry from designers to playwrights to actors, and we want to be able to do that forever.
We have been very, very fortunate so far to have so many people involved with our group that have volunteered their time and their talents and their artistry. And we want to do the best shows possible. We want to have amazing sets and lighting and costumes and get publicity and PR that these actors and designers deserve. We're putting out some great work that we're really proud of, and anything that you can do to help support us would be wonderful. We love what we do, and we love the people we get to work with, and we hope you'll love us too and help us out a little bit this year when we do Reputation Control.